Hey, I'm even more drunk than I was in episode 7, and I'm Kovac, here with Halo Let's Play episode 8, The Two Betrayals, and with Lady Mappy, who tried to introduce themselves, and I cut them off. Because I'm in charge. I did the gameplay footage. I get to dictate who talks.
You did so well with the gameplay footage too.
Oh no, it's gonna be awful. This is gonna be another long ass edit for you because there's a lot of deaths in this one. You're gonna find out why real fast.
Yes, it's always a trip when you see the first frame of the video. It says the par time for this level is 20 minutes, and dear viewers, please observe that this video is not 20 minutes long.
No, it is not. It is you'll see. You know, yes. Cortana was originally supposed to have a British accent, and that's why she's going to tell someone to sod off right now.
Nice. Also, we're going to learn why following this guy's advice, not a great idea.
I've spent the last 12
hours
let's up in here watching you toady about helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now.
Yeah. You know, maybe Cortana, if you had told Sean what the purpose of Halo is, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
You mean this?
I mean, it's dramatic. You know, honestly, her also saying toady about and chum is kind of British too. But yeah,
yes.
I mean, you're from Britain. Well, you've been to Britain. I've never been to the Britons. Nor have I been to Gaul. I've only been to the Italians. I don't know what their ancient name was. Oh, it was the Romans. Anyway,
I mean, it was Italia.
Oh, okay. Well, we prefer to view ourselves as Romans. Because it's a lot more. It's a lot more prestigious.
I mean, what part of Italy are you originally from?
Oh, Capri in southern Italy.
So yeah, I think you would have been within early Roman whatever, like their earliest footholds.
Oh, cool. So basically, Halo is a weapon. When this pulse goes off, it destroys all life that is capable of thought to try to stop the flood. And you basically just said that. And he said, you should have already known that. Now, that's an interesting little thought.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I think because...
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Yeah. This was intended to be something like, oh yeah, these were the final, nothing else has worked.
I'm going to spoil some things that never come up in the game. So, as 343 just said, you already knew that, right? And the reason he said that is because 343's real name is Chakas. No, really. By the way, I don't think you read this part of the Halo Wiki. 343's real name is Chakas. He is from
He used to be human.
Yes, he's from Halo Cryptum. No, you're right. He's from Halo Cryptum. And he was just some guy who was hired to follow the Forerunners around. He got his brain put in a Roomba. I think I stole that joke. Oh, wait, why do I have this still in here? Okay. And, that's how he became 343 Guilty Spark. So he thought we already knew that this is what we were doing because he does not realize humanity has... there's going to be a line later on where he says, human history, how intriguing. Because he does not realize intellectually that humans do not remember what's going on here at all. As he called us, we're reclaimers. So we are the ones who are supposed to be able to activate this ring.
So this is a human-only jobby, and basically if we left the Covenant to it, there would be no problems.
You're not wrong because the Covenant cannot initiate the Halo activation sequence. Which is actually a plot hole. Now that I just realized that's a plot hole in Halo Infinite because they're trying to take control of the facility, but they should not be able to do so because they cannot activate the Halo sequence. It'd be an empty threat.
Huh.
Spoilers for Halo Infinite, by the way.
Also, I would just like to go back to like the beginning of all this. Like after all the conversation, but before we go into the actual like fights, that was a very dramatic zoom in on John's face.
Oh, yeah?
Or at least his helmet. Which I guess we can call his face, because it's not like...
You see
Do we
him
ever s-
only in the comics. And in Halo 4, you see his eyes. That's about it.
Is he as... Does he look like as generic a shoot man as...
He's blonde
I
with blue
imagined him
eyes. He's blonde with blue eyes. Which is a really, really, really poor choice.
So he looks like BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, let's use that terminology to describe that. I mean, if Halo wasn't fascist enough, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that could in fact be a subtle commentary by the character designers.
I mean, it's also worth
We'll go
noting,
with that.
he's also shaved all his fucking hair, so you probably won't even know he's blonde.
So he's a skinhead.
Well, you can't wear hair with Halo in the suit.
So wait, so like, has he just shaved his head hair, or like all of his hair?
It's like a buzz. It's like shaved off till you just barely see a little bit of hair coming out of scalp.
Oh, I was imagining that like he had like a disfoliant applied to the right word? I don't think it's the right word. But like he had all of his hair removed, essentially.
No, but I just want to bring up, do you see now why this level might be 58 minutes long? Does anything look familiar to you?
Oh.
Did you pick up on it?
No, I will admit that I'm blind and I was yapping about unrelated things.
So, welcome to what Halo does for the second part of its game. Instead of actually making new maps, you do old maps in reverse with slight changes.
Oh no.
So, welcome to Assault on the Control Room Part 2.
Oh no.
The two betrayals.
Oh no. So is one of the betrayal the fact that the game betrayed us by making us do this shit show of a level again?
Also, this level is also really bullshit with deaths. That's why it's 58 minutes long.
Also, wow, is this level dark.
Yeah, it really, really, really has that MTV rating. Oh, you meant the lighting. No one's going to find that funny. Yeah, well, it's set at night. The second half of Halo games, one way to make it clear that it's, they're different is they set them all at night.
And they don't do the Hollywood thing of like, oh, you know it's night because it's blue tinted. No, you know it's night because it's really, really dark.
So this is this is something that's going to become more bullshit. To turn off these things, we have to walk into them and let them drain our shields in the center of an arena.
That sounds like okay, as a gameplay thing, that sounds like bullshit. As an in-setting thing, that sounds like bullshit.
You're overloading the power generator with your shields. And no, you cannot just hit it with laser beams or bullets or rocket launcher rounds. You'll see that I try it, because dropping all your shields in the middle of a arena where you have no cover sucks. It sucks wang.
I mean, okay, I will say one thing in, at least so far in Dimensions level, at least they give us, like, cool vehicles to fly around in.
Yeah, you might change your song and dance on that when you see what we use said vehicles for, but yeah.
Please tell me that we're just going to use them to power slide everywhere.
It's just that we only use them to get up to those ledges. And then...
yes. This mighty flying, I believe that's a Banshee.
You're correct.
The best elevator.
So everyone, how was your Christmas? Hanukkah or Kwanzaa.
Or Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Sell us your firstborn child. Like us on Instagram.
I very intentionally don't do that in my videos.
Like us on Facebook. Give us $1 million. Sign over the property, the mineral rights to your house.
Invest in our mineral rights.
Invest in our NFTs. We don't do NFTs, by the way. That's a joke.
I like how you felt the need to clarify that part and not the rest of it.
Because that's the only one that might actually be like, oh, well, these people are pieces of shit. They invested in NFTs. That's like the only one where I'm like, someone might think that one's real.
I would hope that no one would think that was real, but we live in crazy times.
We live in a society.
Yeah. So, I noticed that this iteration of the level is just as bullshit with the health pack drops as the previous one.
Yeah, it's probably even worse, to be honest.
That's because the first time you went through, you used all the health packs.
But if you simply give us $1 to our non-existent Patreon, Master Chief can afford a health pack every level. I'll stop the joke. I know you hate this.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing in some games with like Switch comment integration.
Oh yeah. I actually was watching a video about that. That's a thing, and some Twitch streamers do.
Which seems. I am personally not a fan of that, even though I came up with an idea that is just as bullshit, but. Which would be a playthrough of like a JRPG where you can only spend money that has been donated to you.
The thing is,
now that I've said that, now someone's gonna do that, and that's awful.
That require people to actually listen to our videos. But the thing about is that usually you put negative shit in there, like. If you donate $2, my testicles will be frickin' tasered like that guy at the insurrection. Like, it's, they just do stuff like that. Like, if you spend $2, random enemies are going to spawn into the level.
I mean, I guess that's less offensive. Okay, offensive is the wrong word. But that's less, like, annoying than, hey chat, if you like me, you're going to help me pay to win. Then it's like, that's just kind of boring. Mostly.
Chat, please just give all the money so I can buy more Fortnite skins, and then I can sell those skins to China and rip off the Chinese government in this large Ponzi scheme
that I have described to you in these videos, which, I just thought to ask, is this admissible evidence in court?
Listen, anything is admissible evidence if your judge doesn't care enough. That's what I've learned about the U.S. court system. Unless you got the money to go to appeals.
Ugh. Did you get through? Yes, you got through!
Yeah, I did. And I got a pet that I decided to just kill right now.
You are the worst pet owner. Not in real life.
I know.
Don't take that seriously.
I know. I'm just really drunk right now. So what'd you have for dinner, by the way? I had some fried chicken, tatters, and biscuits. What'd you get?
I had some leftover meatballs, and I made some fettuccine.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Combine them.
And you know who doesn't get to afford a dinner every night? The Covenant. Unfortunately, the Covenant just is doing very poorly. But for a simple donation of $1 per day... I'm sorry, I just stopped the sticky bit.
I do find the bit funny, but I also find it in really poor taste, so...
I mean, the Covenant aren't real. They only exist...
I mean, yes.
I know that's not what you find distasteful, by the way.
No, like, the fact that they don't exist is the part that's distasteful, honestly. It's like,
So
But
this,
the more seriously, like I think that could accurately describe the grunts.
for just $1 a day, we will stop enslaving them. If every human gives us $1, isn't that $7 billion for one day? Yes.
Seems a bit excessive. Also, remember the human government in Halo are a bunch of jerks, fascist jerks. So why would they give you money?
It is really impressive how the more you dive into the expanded universe of Halo, the more that no one is a good person.
Which I mean, that isn't that kind of what you want in like a shooter universe?
I mean, I will say Doom had a lot of rip and tear, rip and tear. You are big, therefore you have big guts.
The comic is pretty great, yes. But like, it's similar to like the complaints I've seen about Warhammer 40k, like the very, very legitimate complaints about it being basically like literally everyone in there is a monster.
Except for the town.
Oh no, that they've done some like additions to the setting that have made them, if not as bad as everyone else, like still pretty awful.
Seems like a strange thing to do to the only good people in your setting, but okay.
Well, I think it's because like, especially for like a war game, you don't really want to have good guys necessarily, because like what you kind of want is that you kind of want to set up so that people who care about the lore of your setting can justify having any army fight any army, and that's really easy if everyone is just like horrible war addicts.
Huh. Begs the question about how many World War II games exist, but alright.
We could get into that, but we're not going to. Anyway. But yeah. Like, I'm trying to think. I can't think of any... Oh, okay. Shooter series are not my forte, as was pointed out in the previous episode. But that does make me wonder how many, like, shooter series there are where, like, there is a, like, unvarnished 100% good guys. Because I know, like, the one series I can think of is Gears of War, and Gears of War is very much,
No, not at all. The cogs are evil as hell.
Yeah.
They have, okay, like, I can't tell you this, but there's like a literal trigger warning thing in Gears of War Expanded Universe. Because I'll dance around this. So there's an issue with breeding in the Gears of War universe, and the solution of the coalition governments is something that is literally edgy for edge's sake.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that did give me the word that I was really looking for, which is edgy. I think Halo is edgy, like not like as edgy as some examples. Looking at you, Gears of War, but like, come on. Part of the plot is, lol, here's an enemy that the previous solution to it was to wipe out all intelligent life in the universe. Or whatever.
I was on Something Awful forums a lot, right?
Yes.
Did you know the guy who made Gears of War, Cliffy B, was once caught in the Something Awful forward trying to claim that the age of consent was arbitrary?
Lich.
Yeah. Just something I thought you should know. But as for the Halo universe, I don't know if I'd say it's edgy, but it is extreme to the max, because it was made in 2000.
That's fair.
It's radical.
And it was supposed to be extreme. It was supposed to be the headline series for Microsoft's Extreme to the Max console as well.
Listen, all I'm saying is Master Chief, he's got an attitude. He's the baddest dude. He's the raddest thing alive. He's the raddest thing alive. He's the raddest thing alive.
Was that like a Sonic thing that you're adapting?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Sonic Set AM.
Right, because I never watched like any of the cartoons that are like adaptations of video game franchises.
Legitimately, Sonic Set AM might be willing to go. You might actually enjoy. It's actually pretty good.
I will take that under advisory. I will add it to the list.
You're never gonna watch it anyway. So
Oh no, I might. It's just there are many things on the list. Like I have homework before I can continue to play Kingdom Hearts with my other friend.
wait, what game in Kingdom Hearts are you up to? They kicked me out around the middle of Kingdom Hearts 2.
We are almost on the last Disney level of Kingdom Hearts 3, which is the Big Hero 6 level. And I've not seen Big Hero 6, so I'm required to watch Big Hero 6 before we continue.
Wow, she's making you watch Big Hero. Well, it's not a bad movie.
Well, it's mostly because like we were gonna do it. And it's like I've not seen the movie, and I know this is gonna have spoilers. Probably not as much as like the Frozen world in that game, which is literally just.
And welcome to being out of bounds.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of sad they didn't let you like wander around a bit out there, lost and alone. A metaphor for how John approaches life.
Kingdom Hearts. The thing is, Kingdom Hearts is just a more honest video game.
It is very honest. It is very honest about what it is and what it's trying to do.
Well, what I mean is no video game lore makes sense. It's all made up on the spot. It's all convoluted. But Kingdom Hearts doesn't pretend it isn't bullshit. Kingdom Hearts is very upfront that it's just bullshit to get your money to funnel into Mickey Mouse's cocaine habits.
I mean, I will kind of agree with that for Kingdom Hearts 3 because of some features in that game are very, very obviously a result of executive meddling. The plot of the Frozen level is very much an argument in the favor of that reading. Because okay, so for those of you who are not really familiar with the Kingdom Hearts series, they tend to have like a bunch of like mini vignette levels where you go through like the worlds of different Disney movies, and you get to fight alongside the main character of that Disney movie, and yay. But in like for most of those, you have the characters, and you have like the broadest relation to the actual movie in question, but the level is very much its own thing. The level for Frozen, like, after a certain point is basically you watching the plot of Frozen, except for you get to, like, fight monsters every so often.
A great thing is someone did a YouTube video where it's Frozen's ending. Sorry, no, not Frozen. I was going to say Tangled's also in that game.
Yes, a good video. It has a similar issue.
There's a very good level that's like Tangled, but Kingdom Hearts is canon, so they just show the ending scene, but you can see Sora in the background fighting that huge heartless boss while the ending's playing out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's like, it is incredibly jarring, and don't get me started on the quote-unquote attractions, which are like the super mode thing that like you press a button and you get these like big flashy sequences of Sora and friends riding on like some Disney ride, and it's like, oh yeah, those were some executives meddling. And to bring that back to the actual game that we're playing, can you imagine if like there was a button that popped up on the side of the screen every so often, where like,
oh yeah, Chief can just summon in other Microsoft characters, like the Frozen car. just suddenly start driving the Froza car. Froza car for Smash. Do you know the story behind the Froza car?
No, I don't. Please inform me.
So for Sony did a thing where they showed off all of their like iconic characters on a billboard at E3. So Microsoft said we're going to do the same thing, and so they didn't have enough iconic characters for 4. So one of their iconic series was Froza. So they just put the Froza car there, and it was just and so it's just like Lara Croft, Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, and Froza car.
Yes. I mean, hey, that's the one you would summon, because then you're like, oh man, Master Chief gets to ride around in a sweet sports car. Totally worth doing in the middle of a war zone on an alien ring world.
You know, why do I still have this plasma pistol?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of for that rocket launcher, yo. God, this level dragged on forever, by the way. I think I was losing it by this point.
Yeah, and...
No, not this point. Later on, but I really was not happy to be back in Assault on the Control Room's map.
Yeah, which is why you try to break past the map's boundaries. And then the game was like, no. You gotta do it again. It makes Papa Microsoft happy.
Given my history, don't call anything Papa. But, well, I shouldn't have said that joke. So, let's see. Yeah, man, we are still a long ways away from the end of this level. We're at 27 and 1 seconds versus 58:44.
I was just thinking that, if you, okay. So I was just thinking, if you just change the lighting in this level, I wonder if you could just splice in footage of what you're doing right now with the many deaths of John Spartan.
This is really just Assault on the Control Room in reverse with some slightly different enemy layouts.
I don't think anyone would notice the difference, honestly. That said, I think this is... Because I do remember seeing something that mentioned that the crunch for Halo was incredibly fierce. This was probably not the first plan for this level. But they were like, we've got like a week to finish this. Just use the map we already have. It'll be fine.
I'm sure this is the result of crunch. Bungie has a crunch problem.
Just like the entire video game industry.
Like when they made Destinado. I'm going to be stuck in this room for a while, by the way, so let's just strap in for this.
Is this your favorite room? Is this the room you wanted your bedroom to look like when you were a kid?
No, it's just the room where I have to accept the fact that I have to get fucked by the flood. I mean, it's just... Listen, it's like a porn star on their first shoot. Like, they have to just work up the courage to deal with reality.
And
oh my god, that was bad.
It also doesn't help that we have, the Sentinels doing their laser bullshit. And not actually being very helpful, I may add.
Well, they're still fighting against us, by the way, because we betrayed 343 Guilty Spark. Yeah, so they're... that fucking rocket flood, man.
But wouldn't you think that they would prioritize, actually doing a good job against the flood?
Yeah, that would assume the Forerunners were competent, but if the Forerunners were competent, they wouldn't have lost literally everything to the flood.
I mean, fair. But, this is really a case of Chakas not being competent. Oh, hey, you did some breakdancing right there.
Oh my god, they're breakdance fighting. You ever watch a Ben Stiller movie?
I saw 8 Crazy Nights when I was
That's
younger.
That's Adam Sandler.
Oh, right. Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler are not just the same person under
their
assumed
movie-
names.
Their movie is arguably the same quality.
Was Ben Stiller in 23?
That was the guy from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
I will confess, and you should know this about me because like we've known each other for what, a decade at this point.
Probably.
I quite literally cannot tell the difference between different actors.
Oh, I see.
Like, okay, no, that's a lie. There are some actors where I can tell the difference between you. But like if it's like they make similar quality movies, and they're kind of like yeah, no. Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler might as well be the same person.
This motherfucker waited for me at the goddamn... This is why it sucks so much. He was waiting for me. The second I turned down the shield, he just fucking beat my ass.
I mean, that's because you were accusing them of not having very smart AI earlier. But I think this is genius AI.
This is me just seeing how much work the Sentinels can do for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, could you theoretically just sit here and wait? Or are the Flood actually, like, spawning inside the room?
They are not infinitely spawning, thank God. But they are, there is a lot of them.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they were infinitely spawning?
Well, it wouldn't be fun, that's for sure.
I mean, you're saying this like this was already fun.
It wasn't. I was pretty much just wanted the game to be over about this point, I think.
The classic peril of the Let's Play. Right, oh right, and like the infection forms, which are the little ones, they like barely do anything to your shield, but they like eat through your health really quickly, right? If
Not
they
only
smack you
that-
without a shield.
Not only that, but their presence stops you from being able to get checkpoints.
Oh right, yes, because of this game's unimpeachable checkpoint system. I do kind of like how they just kind of like gently drop off your grenades next to you when you die. Like, oh boy, the Flood are gonna love these. I know it's because they don't have like, they didn't bother to have like a separate death trigger for single player versus multiplayer. But now I'm just imagining like a Flood coming over and teabagging you.
I mean, debagging was you know, mainly a thing because Halo allowed you to crouch.
Yep.
So I don't know if they would have like plans for it in the game code.
Oh no, they wouldn't.
No prescience visions, no matter how much dust they may consume.
How many dice they may consume?
Well, they're playing D&D, so they're eating the dice to figure out what they're going to roll later.
Well, you see, what die am I going to roll for the attack roll this time? Well, I ate the D20, so I guess I'm going to have to go with this D4. Why do I keep missing? I'm reminded of this ancient thread that I stumbled on once where people were discussing like which die would be the worst to swallow.
Oh, D4.
Yeah, that was the consensus.
It's a pyramid. It's absolutely the worst thing to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people were arguing, like, oh, a D20 is because they're the largest. So there's more chance for them to lodge somewhere. But it's like, no, D4s would just rip stuff up.
Rip stuff up and still get caught in your throat.
Yeah. Anyway, John Halo is very confused by our conversation.
Oh, am I still in this fucking room?
Yes, this room is where you will get buried.
That did it. Pulse generator
After you die, you're gonna just wake up and you're gonna realize that you were just a figment of John 117's imagination as he was storming this one room.
I don't know if I can describe how worried I was when I realized one of those guys had a rocket launcher.
I mean, are you checkpointing, or are we actually done?
Finally.
Good. Like, the reason I had to ask that is because after a while, when you're watching the same thing over and over again, you don't really see it anymore.
I can see that.
reactors are still powered up.
Or can I?
Nope, you've gone blind long ago.
Now comes a long trek underground to the last part of this level, which was the beginning of Assault on Control Room.
And we have to go find brain keys, so we can do something with the Pillar of Autumn. Leave. Oh hey, the camera decided that it wanted to clip through the walls.
Stupid rocket flood.
Down 1,200 kilometers upspin.
That was really just
Show her future
not the most inspired decision they could have come up with, huh?
It's one of those decisions that exist solely to be like, oh, they might bring the Banshee in there, better stop them.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that, given that you can't lock on, but, you know, the AI probably has no such problems, yeah. John Spartan is not the big man now, dog.
Who is the man now, dog?
I don't know. Probably one of the Flood. They seem very now dog to me.
That's fun, just lock me off from my vehicles, I guess.
I mean, oof. I have to say that I think the Flood were intentionally designed to just be anti-fun, like negative fun.
It certainly feels that way. They're
Like-
just too simplistic. What they really feel like is undercooked enemies. It's what I would say if they didn't act exactly the same way in Halo 2, and to a lesser degree, Halo 3.
Ugh. So I'm just gonna say that, you know, it'd be great if you could play through this as a hunter.
Oh,
Hunters are Flood immune, by the way.
yeah, but they can still get beaten to death, but I can see the benefit.
I mean, remember, hunters are like really hard to kill unless you use a pistol on them.
Yes. Or a sniper rifle.
Yeah. Which, have we seen very many, like, sniper rifle Flood?
Well, no sniper rifle flood, that's for sure.
Have we seen any pistol Flood?
No, I mean, maybe plasma pistol.
So send in the hunters, they'll be fine.
What's this?
Oh wow, Canyon A. Such a creative name.
This is going to be another rough part, to tell you the truth. I'm going to say at least 10 minutes, because the problem is I have to get up to that ledge up there. But to get there, I have to cross this canyon. This canyon has 3 enemy encampments and an area with rocket flood on the way there.
They love their rocket Flood, don't they?
Yeah, and I think there's a rocket flood in one of these encampments, too.
Do you think they got a discount on rocket Flood?
I don't
Like
know.
there
I
was
don't-
some kind of like buy one get six free deal.
It would certainly explain a few things if there were.
Because I mean, okay, I'm just gonna put my amateur like game designer hat on and say that what would make sense in my mind would be for the Flood to be using the weapons of like whatever enemies were in this rough part of the level the first time we went through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had a bunch of enemies with like needlers, you'd have a bunch of like needle flood.
Okay.
But what they clearly decided to do is just go, no, someone airdropped a ton of rocket launchers for the Flood to pick up.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like, where are they getting the rocket launchers from?
I think the implication is they're getting it from fallen human enemies.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, have there been a lot of, like, Marines running around with rocket launchers that I just haven't noticed?
No, not really.
Like, yeah. So apparently, like, all the humans just have rocket launchers, like, up their butts or something.
Well, the Second Amendment is pretty strong in the Halo universe.
I mean, that's the right to bear arms, not. I can't think of a way of referring to that doesn't sound incredibly crass.
I mean, listen, the founders just want us to be able to put up giant bear arms in our living rooms. It's just not, how could that be possibly misinterpreted?
Oh man, I love these barrel. No, okay, so you know what it really was?
Sure, go ahead.
Ben Franklin really loved bear claws. Like, really loved bear claws. But of course they used the British version, which were called bear arms. So he wanted that enshrined as a right.
Well,
The British version of bear claws are not in fact called bear arms. Just to clarify.
oh, what are they actually called?
I think they are actually just called bear claws, if they have them. Which I'm not
Okay.
sure they do, because different places have different pastries.
Be surprised if they weren't called something like Winkerdoodle Doodle Dee.
Oh no, that's a very American name.
Really?
I mean, look, if you haven't gone down to your local supermarket and bought some Winkerdoodle Doodle Dees, you're missing out.
Damn you, Waddle Dee. You will fuck me for the last time.
I mean, yeah, it was weird when Hostess got that cross-promotional deal with Kirby series, but, good pastries.
Does not speak, completely understood. Never full, always hungry. No ankles, always walks.
I think you might have mixed up some parts of that riddle.
What walks on 4 legs when it's born, 3 legs when it's older, 2 legs when it's older, and 3 legs when it's dying?
Again, I think you misremembered that riddle. But I mean, the clear answer is the 9-legged blug beast of South Dakota. Horrible thing.
Damn skunk ape.
I love how this is the episode where he decided. Okay, no, this isn't the episode where he decided to talk about anything that is not Halo, but this has been a very no Halo episode, at least from us.
Well, it's mainly because, honestly, if Halo's not going to put the effort in to make a new fucking map... No,
Yeah.
for real though, this level can be summarized as this map is really big, and I keep dying to the fucking rocket flood.
Yeah, and the rocket flood. Okay, so the first time you went through this map, the deaths felt okay. Okay, no, they were still a little bit bullshit, but that's mostly because of how they checkpointed you. But it felt like, okay, you're getting taken down by superior fire, you've lost your shields, and you only had 1 health. So of course you're going to die a lot.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like, oh, yeah, you're doing, like, okay with your health, yada yada, and then, boom, rocket from a direction where you can't see the enemy, and you're dead.
It's kind of like living in the United States of America. You do everything right, but then you stub your toe, you get infected, you have to go to the doctor, he bills you $100,000. Your insurance tells you, don't worry, we knocked it down to $80,000. Aren't we great, even though you've been paying us $600 a month for the last 20 years? And then you're just left with a bill you can't afford if you also want to keep your house.
And then you turn to crime.
That's when you become the Joker.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't seen more Jokers around. Though I will say, on a lighter note, did you know that getting an eye test for, a vision test for the DMV is free?
Oh, yeah, really? That's good.
Or at least, I had to renew my driver's license last July. And one of the things they let me do was, because of, the global pandemic, they were like, yo, you can just tell us you're good for an eye exam and upload the documents later. Which, now that I say that, sounds kind of risky on their part. But what do I know? But anyway, so I got a reminder email, last week, going, ahem, it's been 6 months since you said you'd do this. I was like, crap. Okay, there's a place down on Main Street. I'm gonna walk over there and I'm gonna, bring some money and hopefully they'll check my vision. And someone basically just walked out, was like, okay, can you read out this line on the chart, please? All right, you're good. I just sent the information to the DMV. Have a nice day.
Yeah, they don't care. I do that this year, too.
And I was like, oh, how much is it going to be? Oh, no, it's free. Which, to be fair, given that it was probably 5 minutes of their time and didn't actually require any effort, I can see why they're not charging for it. But also, given how in the U.S., your eyes and teeth are apparently luxury body parts, I'm kind of surprised I wasn't charged anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been charged for that before, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. So you just need to come up to my town next time you need to have it done. It's only 600 miles away for you?
It's certainly a long-ass drive.
Yeah. It would take you all day one way.
And then you have to drive on the side of a mountain at night, and then you have to deal with the wastelanders. And then there's those giant birds that only live in upstate New York that abduct children.
Look, okay, so if you leave earlier in the day, you don't have to deal with the, night driving, and the birds are mostly nocturnal. So, this is really your fault for driving around at night.
I mean, you say that, but I've seen those birds take those children.
I mean, were they doing it in broad daylight?
I could still hear their screams.
Were those kids on the sacrificial platforms?
All for the harvest.
Yeah, that's just normal, Kobach. You city slickers don't understand how, the food is made, clearly.
The blood of the gears of capitalism must be fed with the blood of workers, as they say.
Anyway, I'm making that joke, but I have never actually worked on a farm a single day in my life. I do have family who are farmers, but I moved out into the more rural areas beginning of high school.
Alright, so that was me just straight up giving up and taking a break. I actually was so frustrated, I just quit.
Yeah.
I went out, took a break, left the house for a bit.
So, I was about to say, didn't you record this entire game in 2 sittings?
Yeah. I didn't get
it,
up for the chair.
was this like halfway? Was this the break point between the two sittings?
I don't remember, actually. I'm pretty sure that I stopped a little earlier. I think maybe it was 3 sittings. I just know I stopped. I think I played over 2 days, but maybe more than 1 sitting in a day.
Yeah, because like I can see this being just inordinately frustrating, especially following up the previous level.
It's just the whole thing, my NB friend. Just enemy after enemy in these... in levels that just... It's just the previous level backwards, and it doesn't work as well backwards as you saw in some places, where you had to climb up before, now you're climbing down.
Yeah, and the fact that they had to add in banshees as glorified elevators. In some
because they couldn't change the layout, so...
Now that was just cowardly. They just shot you in the back.
The fact that you have to constantly be on the lookout for these one-shot kill enemies, for which you have no retribution for.
And let me guess, you can't just like speed run it.
Someone could definitely speedrun it. I'm not good. Are you kidding me? I am at like 51 minutes and 32 seconds. Do you think I can speedrun this game? Do you think I'm about to like friggin' critical this speedrun like Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine? No.
I mean, I'm just imagining like, and then we reveal in the final episode that like you actually did some parts of this game so quickly they took you negative time, and you still got the world record for this game.
Oh, trust me, there's no risk of that happening.
Alternatively, you took so long that like the counter for the time rolls over, and you beat the game in like 3 seconds.
I'm just gonna throw this out here. I got so drunk for a few minutes there, I was starting to pass out, and I just woke up, and we're still in the same section of the map.
That is concerning for multiple reasons. Maybe you should swap over to water.
I'm gonna do that after this level. I wasn't like passing out. I just mean like falling asleep a little bit, and I wake up and I'm like, "We're still here, huh?" Like I wasn't all the way asleep. I was like half asleep. But nothing really changed, other than me wondering slowly, why isn't this part on 2 times speed?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that, because, like... yeah, because we already set the standard for, like, the death reels, but... I mean, in a way, it's better that it's not at 2 times speed, because that means you weren't as horribly mutilated by the level as you were when you were going through it forwards.
Why? No! I'm reliving it. This is like freaking... This is a Vietnam flashback. I'm feeling it all over again. Why the fuck?
It's okay. The halos can't hurt you. The halos can't hurt you.
They threw Agent Orange on me, Lady Mappy.
Yeah, like this is the point where like the light happy Let's Play has kind of like it's not turned into a slog, but like
I'd be surprised if anyone watches this video fast. Hey, you know what? Anyone who is stuck with this video, just comment the word you suck. Just comment "you suck" with period, and I'll know you've made it to this part of the video.
Yeah, that would actually be a really interesting thing to see, because, like, given that I think this series is actually one of the rare series where anyone has bothered to leave a comment. So, who knows? Maybe someone will tell us that we suck.
I am not going to drink before these videos again, though, because I swear to God, you really do start to fall asleep. Okay, so Let's do it this time. Okay, no dying to that fucking rocket. I am ready for him. I am ready. His bullet will pass through me. Ah.
That rocket is the little death. That,
Oh my god, I did it. Oh my god, I did it. Oh
Excellent.
my god, I did it. Oh my god, I did it. I made it. I made it. Ah.
And I take it this is the last garbage level?
Yeah, for the most part. There's only 2 levels left. I really was reliving that a little bit there for a minute.
Alright. And this is going to be another fun one to edit, because... Yeah. Just as something that's like a little bit of how the bacon is made. For a lot of the games I do, I basically just make sure that the audio is synced, and I might do like some editing out of like dead time or whatever. But for these, since I'm doing a death counter, I actually have to watch it multiple times to make sure everything's working properly. So I'm going to be reliving this one over and over again until it feels like I'm the one who was in control. Which, to be fair, like, this is still way better than I would do. This would be like me in the first level.
I just want to say, when I died, there was a moment where I'm like, oh my god, where was my checkpoint? As if I had not been this level already and recorded it. I was actually legitimately worried where my character was going to respawn.
Halo, everyone. Where you get to feel like the big invincible Master Chief. In his glorified elevator.
Elevator that I'm taking back across the level I've already been on. Because that's where the fucking ledge is. As if it wasn't like, this is just such a giant insult when you think about it.
Yeah, okay. So here's the other thing, right? So, the Halo, like, the sky's open above you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just take your flying vehicle, fly up into the sky, and fly over all of this bullshit, and then fly down? What are you thinking, John Spartan?
Because then you hit the death box, and then you die, so you gotta start over.
Oh, right, yes. I kind of like the idea that the death box is actually, like, a canonical in-setting thing. Like, that's the real reason why, like, you need spaceships or whatever. It's like, because otherwise you'll just clip through the death box.
Okay, it's over.
Oh, no, that'll take too long? That'll take too long, Cortana?
I am so sorry, people. This episode sucks. Just comment you suck.
Something tells me I'm not.
Yes. Also, John, you've already teleported.
You have the right to tell us we suck for this long ass pain in the ass experience.
Yes.
But if you are masochistic enough to be into CBT, you're masochistic enough to be here for next week in the episode. Oh no, I didn't record our audio. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you. In the episode next week, Keys.
All right. Take care. See you then. Bye.